Hello, and welcome to Alcohol Free Radio. I'm your host, Chris Becker, and I'm excited to have you join us. Whether you are new to the amazing and growing alcohol-free community, or someone who is already familiar, we hope you enjoy our program. This is where you can hear from some people making a real difference, whether as brewers and creators of amazing beverages, influencers in the community, retailers, authors, storytellers, and more. You'll be hearing from some amazing people, and hopefully learn some new things about the growing world of alcohol-free. We will be using a few segment formats and hosts as we aim to break it down and bring it all together. Our goal is simple: to build awareness about this great community and help make alcohol-free fun, easy, and tasting great. So here we go. Enjoy. Hey everybody, Alcohol Free Radio here, getting ready for this episode with Silvia Subirana from MyDry30. I've been trying to expand all amazing makers out there in the space, and we will continue to bring those to the program, but also reaching out into some of the other areas. So one of those include the various apps and programs that allow people to think about their drinking and mindfulness, and how that is complemented by non-alc beverages of all shapes and sizes. So Sylvia's got her approach, and I'm looking forward to you guys hearing about that. And then over the next while, into this, middle of the year, we should hopefully have a few episodes where people can get a feel for some of the things that are out there. So hope you enjoy it. Take care. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Alcohol Free Radio. I am excited and looking forward to the conversation we're about to have with Silvia Subirana of MyDry30. If you hear noise in the background, it's because we're next to a dance studio. I'll probably go on and off mute, which I don't normally do. So Silvia Subirana will give us a walkthrough, and I'm really looking forward to this. So first of all, welcome, Silvia.
Hi, I'm very excited to be here. Thank you so much.
And we're excited to have you. Where are you calling from?
Right now I'm in Australia, in Perth.
Oh, okay.
I'm not.
What time?
Yeah, I'm not from Australia, but
No.
yeah, it's 10 p.m. now.
Good. Okay, but you're not normally there. Where are you based normally?
So I'm from Spain.
Great. Okay.
So yeah, I've lived there my whole
thought.
life. I moved to Australia around 2 years ago, and
okay.
yeah,
I think
I've
you're
been.
getting a little accent in there.
Yeah, I have a bit of
Your
everything.
friends back home give you a hard time?
Yeah, a little bit. My partner's from the UK, so that makes the mix even more weird. So yeah.
Well, welcome, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about MyDry30 and the program and the app and how all that's going. But before that, why don't you give us a bit of a background, including you're obviously in Australia now, so we'd love to hear kind of some of the background and what led you into what you're doing now.
So I'm a clinical psychologist. I've always been interested in mental health, and also to understand what was going on in people's heads. And it always fascinated me as a kid and a teenager how two people react super differently to the same situation, right? And I just wanted to know more, and that's how I ended up here, and I love it. I love my job. And I started collaborating with MyDry30 because it basically is an app that helps people have a better relationship with alcohol, not necessarily completely quit, also to discover grey area drinking or moderation, or do we just help people make a choice that aligns with what they want to do, how they want to live their lives. And that really aligns with my values as well, because I stopped drinking around 6 years ago. I don't have a specific date because it was organic for me. It was just because the alcohol was not sitting well in my stomach, and I didn't feel good when I drank. Yeah. So I just decided to stop doing what everybody was doing and what society was telling me that was the correct thing to do, and just I started listening to my body. And that's what I've been exploring for the past 6 years, and I never expected to learn so much. So that's what I do now. I try to help people understand that there's a lot apart from drinking alcohol, there's many, many different ways to have fun. And,
Right.
there's more to it. So, yeah, that's what I do.
That's amazing. So it sounds like a lot of that experience in your background from a clinical psychology perspective. Talk a bit about how that has translated or contributed to the MyDry30 program or curriculum, and then obviously we're interested to hear more. I've been going through the app myself, kind of seeing how it is, and so I'm really curious about the hypnotherapy aspects of it. So would love to hear like what role you play in the MyDry30 team and kind of how it's going.
So, we have four main parts of the program, right? Like a program is 30 days for 30 minutes a day, right? And during those 30 minutes, you have 15 minutes of hypnotherapy, which is exactly what you just mentioned. And I'm going to explain a little bit more because people just have a misconception of what it is. They just think that I'm just going to click my fingers and then they're going to go like completely pass
Cluck
out
like a
and then they're
chicken.
going to start acting like a chicken. So no, that's not it. And so that's 15 minutes of hypnotherapy, 5 minutes of journaling questions, 5 minutes of reading, and 5 minutes of stretch movement in general, right?
Okay.
Because we wanted to combine the mind and body as well. So my role was basically developing all the reading and the journaling questions, where there's a lot of knowledge about how we create habits, about how alcohol affects sleep, how society just pressures us to drink, and many,
Right.
many different topics. There's one topic every day. And I focused on that, trying to give people a little bit of knowledge, which obviously 5 minutes reading is very, very short, but it's a little bit of like snips of mental health advice and knowledge in general. And so I've also participated in the journaling questions because there's many, many benefits to journaling, and many people just don't have that, or don't spend the time just with themselves, sitting down and asking some difficult questions, or just questions in general, right? So that's what we offer as well. And then the hypnotherapy part was developed by two professional hypnotherapists that are part of the main part of our group. They are also clinical psychologists. They're very, very experienced with hypnotherapy, because, for example, when I studied my master's degree, I learned a bit about hypnotherapy, but I learned a bit about many, many different things. So I
Right.
was not knowledgeable enough to create the program, but obviously they did. And I believe it's amazing because basically what hypnotherapy does is it brings you to a deep state of relaxation, where you are still aware. People just don't think that you're still aware, but you are. If you don't want to get into hypnotherapy, you can stop it, right? But it's like very similar to a meditation, right?
That's
So
what I
you
was going
just
to
go
ask. Like, how
into,
do you contrast it with that in terms of meditation or
yeah.
hypnotherapy?
So meditation normally has it's just like focuses on breath work or like
Right.
visualization. It's just with the goal to relax, basically. Whereas hypnotherapy has the goal to train your brain or help your brain imagine different pathways and create alternative routes, more related to what you want to do. So when you get in that deep state of relaxation, all that external noise, all that conscious noise, the problems, the worries, everything that we have around in our heads, just dial down the intensity, and we can be more in touch with ourselves and what we want, we don't want, what we like, we don't like, right? In that state, we are more open to follow suggestions that are aligned with those values. Again, if I say something that is not what you want to do, if I say you're going to rob a bank, you're not going to be manipulated to rob a bank. That's not how
Right.
it works. It's only if you want to do something, then I'm going to suggest it, and you are going to get there faster, right? So how hypnotherapy works in our brains is basically our brains have so many tasks to do to keep all this body alive, right, and running, that the brains try to optimize the energy as much as they can. So the brain doesn't differentiate if something that we're doing a lot is good or bad. It just knows that we're doing it a lot, which means that it wants to optimize that path so we do it faster and spending less energy. So, for example, if we get stressed at work and then we drive from work to home and then we just have a glass of wine and we do it repeatedly to deal with that stress, then the brain is like, okay, we do this a lot, so we're going to just create a faster pathway so we can get there faster. It's not a thought process anymore. It's just automatic. Right. You're stressed, then you get home and you have a glass of wine. It's no questions asked, right? So what hypnotherapy does is create a different path, right? Because that path between the neurons, the brain cells, is very reinforced, right? You're stressed, glass of wine, automatic. So with willpower, we are able to change it, but it takes long time. And there's so many people that, especially when it comes to substances like alcohol or other substances in general, or the drugs or cigarettes or anything, or sugar, they just go back to it because it's so difficult sometimes to do it with willpower alone. So hypnotherapy helps, has an extra push, right? So what it does is start creating that alternative path between neurons, between the brain cells, that is just choosing a different path, that is to not drink. For example, do some meditation or go for a walk or call a friend, do different things, different alternatives that align with what you want to do in your life and how you want to spend your time. So what we've seen in a lot of our clients is that probably the first week would be exactly the same. They feel exactly the same as they would feel with quitting alcohol, and that's it. But then around we've had different, obviously different days, but around, I would say day 9 and day 14, that's more or less what people have been saying, they feel like the urges just like dial down the intensity a lot, and they just feel more empowered to choose not to drink, which obviously that's very, very powerful, because if it can be achieved in less than 2 weeks, that is quite fast. Yeah, that is quite fast compared to just like doing it with willpower, right? So when we started receiving these sort of feedback in general, we were very, very happy, because that is huge, right? Obviously, it's not a magic pill that like you just take it and then it's going to be gone forever, but it's still a huge, huge improvement. Wait, I don't know if you froze.
Great.
1 point. Sorry.
Yeah, we froze a little there, but I think we're good. Not bad, considering we're on opposite sides of the planet. So that's really interesting. Can you talk a bit about some of obviously it's the first of the 4 elements, and it is a bit probably newer for a lot of people. And I'm going to be doing my first one later today, so I'm actually looking forward to it. So it's interesting to get your background on it. Can you talk a bit about the other 3 elements, and then maybe, how is it going? What are some of the things that have been, as you said, with the hypnotherapy, that have been pleasing in terms of the results that based on what you've built? And then where have there been some maybe surprises or things that are helping you develop kind of the evolution of the program?
So basically, what we wanted to do is approach a whole person from different areas, right? Because if you approach something, for example, only with willpower, you can succeed, but then there's a lot of chances that you are going to fail, because there's many things that you're not considering. Exactly. So basically what we wanted to do was give different alternatives to people, and then we work with the unconscious mind with the hypnotherapy, but then we work with the conscious mind with the journaling questions and the reading, and then we work with the body with a stretch, with a movement, right? Even if it's like just putting the legs up the wall and just like doing some breathing, breath work, that is already movement and stretching the body in different ways, right? So basically, what we have seen is that this combined technique, it just is way more powerful and gives people a lot more tools to then work and apply in their lives. Because what we want to do with this program is not to solve everybody's lives, and just like we don't ensure that people are just going to quit drinking, because we also enforce, like we also help them moderate if that's what they want. What we give is the tools and the self-knowledge to then they can decide, and they can create the path that they want, right? So with the journaling questions and making everything conscious, we work with how they deal with emotions, how in general, or how they deal with anger. We also focus on their connections, on gratitude, which has been proven that is amazing. We work with forgiveness and with many, many different aspects so then people can realize, okay, how do I deal with this? How do I deal with that? What are the times where I drink? Is it because I feel pressured? Is it because I'm stressed? Is it because everyone around me is drinking and I feel like that's the only way to have fun, right? So by analyzing all these little things and by giving the people the time to just sit down and think about it, which we don't, I think that is very, very powerful. That's one of the most powerful things of the app. Just we give people the time to sit down and reflect about what they do, how they do it, and if they want to keep doing it or if they want to change.
Right.
And then the movement part. Movement part is to combine with everything else, and we have seen that the mind and the body are very, very intertwined. They're not separate, right? So a lot of the times when the body is tense, the mind is tense, and when the body is calm, the mind is calm, and the other way around, right? So if we're stressed, the body will get just tense. So if we just do some stretches and some breath work and work to get the body calm, then that the signals that the brain will receive is that the body is calm, so the brain can calm down as well. So that signal, that connection is very powerful as well, and it's a very good way for people to just dial down their emotions when they are too intense. And that's why I would say meditation, breath work, and grounding techniques are becoming very, very famous and very popular nowadays, because it's a very easy way to just dial down the emotion to then approach the emotions in a more balanced way, instead of doing it from like the panic mode. So that's why we combine a little bit of everything, because then when people do the stretch and they feel calm, then they're just more open to embrace the day differently.
Yeah. So I like how you've described the program. I'm thinking of myself and also people who might be listening. Okay, I'm interested. I want to see it. Can you give us some pointers? Like for myself, it's like you said, everyone's kind of going through their days with a lot of established patterns, and even the app and the program is a change to that. Do you have suggestions or feedback from watching your clients use the program and use the app? Like, how do you get started in a way to make sure that like you do day one and then you forget it on day two? Is there times of days, or is there ways in which you think you can insert this into kind of your daily routine that increases the efficacy or the likelihood that you'll get through those first few days and it'll kind of go into the second week and beyond?
That is a very good question. And at the same time, I think that it really depends on the person, because we've seen a lot of people that say, I like to do it first thing in the morning. But then there's, I don't know, busy young parents that are like, no way, like I don't have the time in the morning. I have to do it at night. And then some people have just they say that they break it down and then they do the hypnotherapy like 15 minutes at one point.
Okay. So they break it into
during
pieces.
the day. Okay. Exactly. So I think it's very adaptable. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes.
Okay. Well, that's
and you
good
start
right there,
on,
knowing that you can break it up. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. A lot of people do that actually. Like they just do the hypnotherapy when they want, and then at one point when they are more calm, then they do the journaling, or like it's just whenever flows.
Okay.
And we obviously everything is optional, right? Like people can choose what they do and what they don't. We encourage that people do the 4 tasks because that's the most powerful thing. But then we've had people that said, I like doing my journaling. I don't need questions because I do my journaling alone. I
Okay.
mainly use it for the hypnotherapy and the movement. And we're like, okay, that works. If that works for you, then we're just giving you the resources. And then we have reminders. So the app sends reminders every day, just in case
Sure.
people forget, right? But it depends on how people have the time and how they can implement this in their lives.
And how do people, as the app and the program state, Dry 30, so it's day 31, can you do it, just keep it going? Or what do you find people do kind of post the initial program to reinforce, or kind of where do you go from there?
So we're working on having a second path in the future where then on day 30 you will be able to choose between going completely dry or moderate, and then there will be 60 days of each. Like if you choose dry, you'll have
Sure.
60 days. So in the end it will be 90 days, which we believe it will be way more powerful to create that habit, right?
Yeah.
Because that thing, well, there's a myth going around saying that you create a habit in 21 days. That's not how it works. It can
Yeah.
be 2 weeks, but it can be a year. Like it can be,
Sure.
it really, really depends. So we think that the longer someone does a program, the longer or the higher the chances that the habit sticks. So that's what we're working on right now. But at the moment, obviously, there's only 30 days that we're offering. There's a lot of people that ask, can I do the 30 days again? And we
Yeah.
say, yeah, you can go back to day 1. And in the end, there's probably a lot of journaling questions that you haven't asked, or sorry, that you haven't responded, or that we've asked. Some readings that you haven't read during those 30 days.
Yeah.
And by day 30 or day 31, you won't remember what you listened to on day
Yeah.
1. So the hypnotherapy still works because it's applicable to every day. It's quite generic. It's not like in a timeline.
Yeah.
So if people want to keep going, they can use it from day 1 again. And we also have a toolbox where there's like many different
Yeah, I saw that.
exercises. Yeah, and there's breath work, and there's some exercises to deal with strong emotions, or like many different things. So some people say, okay, this second month I'm going to focus on doing some of those exercises.
Yeah, and I would think even going back through the same questions, whether they're journaling questions or the hypnotherapy approaches, your perspective would be a lot different after the first time around than it was when you were doing it day 1 the first time. It's a big. If you follow the program, you're going to be in a very different place. So even the same
Yeah.
question could be perceived differently, or the context is different. So that alone is valuable. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll let you know how it goes. What
Yeah,
how do you
please.
get your clients to know, like how are you getting the message out there about what you're doing?
So we've had some people, some influencers, like health influencers or nutritionists, contact us, and we've contacted some of them as well to let them know about the program. And some people have been very, very interested. And I think it's such a wide program that obviously nutritionists will be interested, psychologists will be interested, doctors will be interested. So we've had a lot of different people. We've had even bartenders that are doing like some mocktails and some cocktails, like both. They
Yeah.
said, oh, this is a very good resource to help people out there. And we've had people like promote the program. Like we had one like 2 weeks ago that was a bartender, and he loved it, right? So
Yeah, for sure. I could see
we've
that.
had people from like a lot of different backgrounds and like, well, different jobs, right? And I do think obviously it takes time because sometimes it's difficult to spread the word out there, but we're trying the best we can, as we think it's a very good tool, and definitely like different from the ones that we've seen in the market. As we've seen many programs out there that sort of play with the blame a little bit, and shame with, oh, you've drunk again, or like, and just
start over. Yeah.
Exactly, and reinforce that negative message. And then there's a lot of a lot of thoughts of unworthiness, and we just don't want to go near there. We only want to give people the tools. It's 30 days, with no drinking. But if they drink on day 10, we understand that sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to just resist to those urges. So that's completely fine. We just tell them, keep pushing. Just try your best during these 30 days. Exactly. Don't give up. Just keep trying. And then even if you have drunk some days during those 30 days, you will learn a lot, and you will have a lot of tools by the end of it that will probably help you make better decisions. And even if it's reducing from 15 drinks a week to 8 or 9, that's still a huge win, because there's like 6 or 7 drinks that you're not having a week, and that's a lot. When you compute it in a year, that's a lot, right? So we just focus on celebrating the little and the big wins, because everybody's different and everybody has different circumstances. So we just want to give people as many tools as they can, so they can choose what's best for them.
Yeah, I think it's great to have what you're doing. You know, there's been a lot of growth in people having more choices, whether it's beverage options or programs that they can access. But one of the common themes we've been seeing is it's giving some respect to the spectrum in between people who, for all the right reasons, choose to not drink at all, which is the right path for many, and then other people who, legitimately don't think about it, and it's not a big part of their lives, or it's to any degree. But lots of people are in between. So it's great to see what you're doing, and others kind of offering that for people that maybe can't consider the full sobriety and then don't really do anything about it. And like you said, you can get to half of what you were drinking. That's a big change. So thank you for explaining that and kind of walking us through it and kind of what you're doing and where it's going. How can people who are interested learn more?
So obviously they can look for the app in App Store and in Google Play. In App Store it's MyDry30. In Google Play it's MyDry30. We have the website where everything is explained more deeply. If you have any further questions, you can just have a little peek and see what we have in there. And we also have our Instagram page. The website is MyDry30.com. I'll send you the link so you can attach them easily. Yeah. But it's MyDry and then 30.com. And it's the same with Instagram. Yes, Instagram is MyDry30 app. And Perfect. We post a little bit of everything, some tips, some things that we're doing, and we keep people updated a little bit.
Silvia, MyDry30, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Take care. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Alcohol Free Radio. We'd love to hear from you. Send us a message on social media or through email at hello@betterroads.com. Great to be here with you all together. Take care.